every single time I do one of these get ready videos, I'm always starting it with, oh, it's been a while since I've done one of these. Because it has been a while since I've done one of these. So I have shown a picture on Instagram about the injury that I sustained from the accident that I had on my wheel. And you guys have seen my effed up hand before in my previous videos, but I don't think I've talked about it yet. I think I've been like in the back of my head saving it for one of these get ready with me videos, but nothing else interesting has ever happened to me since. So because I like to stick at least 2 or 3 little stories in one video, but nothing interesting has happened other than that thing where I nearly killed myself. I'm toning my face with the TOC toner from Axon. So if you haven't seen my video where I talked about how I almost died, this accident was like much worse. I'm gonna use the Ant all-in-one skin. This time I legit forgot my helmet, and it wasn't on purpose this time. But I was riding to work and I had gotten on base. This is not a very interesting story, but because it happened so quickly. I was about to reach my workplace and I was riding my little wheel or whatever, and I saw 2 people on the sidewalk. Now the thing is, on base, there is a side of the road that is designated for people that are on bikes, but I never go there because I feel too much pressure when I'm like riding next to cars, and I always feel like whenever I'm passing a car, I can just see the people like, ooh, you know, in the car as they're like watching this guy stand on some electronic wheel riding along the street. And I always feel like they think, oh, this bitch thinks he can go faster than me? I don't think so. So they like speed up to try and beat me, even though there's like no race. Oh, I'm gonna use the Celamix serum now. So I always ride on the sidewalk. So this time I saw like this mom and daughter like walking along, and I didn't want to make it awkward and try to like maneuver around them, which is what I tend to do. Especially if like I'm behind people. I'm not one of those people that like, if I was on a bike, I'm not gonna like ring my little beep, you know, behind people so that they know that I'm there. Like, or you know, those runners that are like left. So if I like not creep up, but like if I go up behind people, I either wait until they notice me so that they will move, or I just like go about as fast as they're walking. But these people were like walking toward, this mom and daughter walking towards me. So what I wanted to do was, there was a break in the sidewalk because it was going into a parking lot. So the sidewalk kind of stopped, and then it was like a driveway, and then the sidewalk continued. So when I got onto the driveway part, I like kind of veered off a little bit and got onto the bike section of the road so that they could just, the mom and daughter could just go past me without having to like move around me or whatever. And then I would go back onto the sidewalk because a little further down, there's like a crosswalk. And whenever there's a crosswalk, there's like a little slant up so that bikes can, you know, easily get on the curb again or go on the curb. I'm using the Innisfree Orchid Ice Cream. Joan got this for me for Christmas. Thank you. This is like one of the best. It was in my top skincare of 2015 actually. But anyway, so I was getting back onto the curb, and the thing is, in order to get back on the curb at the speed I was going, I had to, I was on the road for bikes, turn onto the curb, and quickly turn again to straighten myself out on the sidewalk. But the thing is, that did not happen. It was more like, whoosh, and then there was no like turning back onto the sidewalk. I was going too fast for me to turn quickly enough to go back on straight down the sidewalk. What ended up happening was I hit this formation of rocks that they had as decoration on the side of the road, because there's like kind of park walking area right next to the sidewalk, but it was elevated a little higher because this is the sidewalk and this is like the park walking area. And so this part right here, they like decorated with a bunch of rocks, and I hit those rocks. My wheel stopped, but my body kept going. it's just like someone in the passenger seat of a car, like a car hitting something, like, and their body just flying out the window. That was basically me, except I had no windshield and I did not have a helmet. Now I'm gonna put on the Troy Autoke sunscreen, SPF 50. I hit, well, my face basically broke my landing, and I was like dazed. If you saw my other Get Ready With Me where I talked about an accident similar to this, I talked about how I was like dazed and confused. With this one, I was so upset with myself at what had happened that as soon as I fell, I got like right back up. Like I stood right back up. And I was like mumbling. All I remember was like mumbling to myself, like, "Oh my fucking god, are you kidding me? This is, oh my, what the hell?" Like an old man or something. In terms of pain, my face was swollen. One of my first thoughts was, "Oh my god, I hope I did not break my teeth," because like my whole upper jaw was like really numb. I remember tasting blood in my mouth. So I remember that was like the first thing I checked was if my teeth were broken. Luckily, nothing was broken. But the whole day I just kept sucking my teeth because I could taste blood. And I was just afraid of teeth falling out. So I was like sucking my teeth to see like, oh, did something come out? Did something crack? And then after I fell, my wheel was just like over by the rocks. Just like whenever it falls over, it like makes a lot of beeping sounds. So I was like mumbling to myself angrily as I was like walking to my wheel to go pick it up. Luckily, there was no one there. Like right after the mom and the girl had passed, luckily there was no cars, no one saw it, no one. Which was a relief because I was afraid someone might have seen that and that would have been more painful than anything. So I like painfully wheeled over to work and I walk in. I already saw that my hand was messed up, but I was just like, oh, I'll just put on a band-aid or something. And I walk into my area of my workplace and I like fall on the floor to like, because I was like, the wind was knocked out of me. And so I had to like take a breather. But one of the managers walked up to me, he's like, "Eddie, the managers are having a meeting. You shouldn't be laying there on the floor." But then he like stopped midway of what he was saying. And he looked at me, he's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Do you need a first aid kit?" I was like, "Yes." My other coworkers started coming up to me and they're like, "Eddie, what's wrong? What's wrong?" They came up to me and they had like that really serious concerned look and they're like, "Oh my god, what happened?" And I looked at myself and like, we don't really have mirrors there. There's like little pillars or whatever that kind of look like mirrors. So I like took a peek and I had like blood dripping down my face. This is like droplets of blood. Sorry, I'm still holding this. I'm using the IOP cushion. So I was like, "Oh no, don't worry guys, I'll be fine. I just need to put on, I need to wash it off and go put on a band-aid or something." But I don't think a band-aid would have helped this. I limp over to the washroom. The manager person that told me, or saw me first, told me not to wash it with soap or even put alcohol on it or anything because apparently that can scar the injury worse. And these cuts were pretty deep. They weren't deep enough to require stitches, but they did break the skin quite, deep. So I, rinsed off the wound. I put on a towel, and one of my coworkers took me to. He was gonna take me to the hospital, but we ended up going to the dermatologist so that they could patch it up. And they, the dermatologist, they knew what they were doing. He cleaned it off. He gave me like those colloid. What are they called? Colloid? Like they're like sticky pieces of this material that will suck out all of the like pus and blood and just prevent it from scarring. It's the same stuff that you see some people putting on their like pimples, or whenever their pimples pop, they put it on there to prevent it from scarring. So I put that. They gave me some medication to take, I think painkillers. My face got really swollen because my upper cheekbone broke the fall, so my whole face like got swollen, my jaw got swollen, but actually it ended up looking like I had gained weight because my cheeks filled out a lot, and I was like, this looks kind of good. Like, can I get this done somewhere? Like, should I fall again? But it was like, obviously, why would I fall again just for that? The place that the injury was on my knuckles, like just the position of the wound made it super difficult to keep like the bandage thing on. So I constantly had to change it, and this one took forever to heal. and it's scarred like really badly because I just could not like protect the wound enough. That was really annoying. In the patch that I was talking about, it swells up when it's like getting filled with like pus and blood and things. So the patch, I had a big patch on my cheek here because I wasn't exactly sure how big the wound was at the time. But it looked really crazy because as the patch was getting bigger, my cheek was starting to look bigger. I kind of looked like that lady. I just ended up looking like I had botched plastic surgery or something. Always wear your helmets. Anyway, I hope you guys found the story of my pain and suffering enjoyable or entertaining, you know, to some degree. Make sure you follow me on Snapchat and Instagram. I'll leave those down below as usual. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.
We don't know where this